Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Timothy Carter.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast. Today we're going to talk about how to create a content series that keeps your readers hooked. Content creation requires consistent development of interesting content, which can be overwhelming for some content marketers. Coming up with ideas that are unique and executing them in a way that is familiar to your users is a difficult combination of tasks to pull off. So creating a content series or mini-series is a strategic way to build your reader interest while resolving some of the difficulties in generating consistent new ideas. So a dedicated series of content posts has a natural advantage over the one-by-one strategies that most content marketers incorporate into their daily activities. Content series gives users a set of consistent expectations. Immediately, if the content is announced as being part of a series, it lets users know that each installment in the series will be of a similar caliber in a related topic, and it makes it easier for content marketers to gradually build an audience. Interested readers will naturally continue to read the series, while new readers can pick up in the middle and, if interested, return to those earlier blog posts. So content series also allows content marketers, to take an idea and dive deep into the content without alienating readers with an exceptionally long post. Some people love those long posts, others don't. So by breaking down that Uber post into smaller segments, content marketers are able to make the idea or ideas more digestible and slightly improve their page rank because of the quantity of posts related to that topic. Still, many content marketers are unfamiliar with how to create and frame a strong content series. So this episode will kind of give you some ideas to show you how. Step one is to, identify a major problem. So before you get too far ahead of yourself, you need to spend some time brainstorming to come up with a solid idea. This idea needs to have the potential to be the subject of a series of posts and also captivating enough to attract an initial audience. The best way to find this type of idea is to consider a major problem. It could be a major problem in the world, a problem in your industry, a problem in your department, or some other type of problem. If you're looking for inspiration, think back to the last major obstacle you overcame in your career. Why was it an obstacle? What did you do to correct it? Is it a source of an obstacle big enough? Is it a big enough of a problem to warrant multiple articles of development? So you can look at you can also look for inspiration, in existing content. So do some research to see what types of problems have been explored in your competitors' content marketing strategies. Are any of them insufficiently covered? Can any of them be applied to a different set of circumstances? So once you have a major problem, you can move to the next step, which is find a way to explore that problem. This problem shouldn't be solvable over the course of a single article. It needs to be dissected, examined, broken down, or otherwise explored deeper. In order to support your content series, you're going to be the explorer in this piece, and you're going to need to find a way to either split your problem into multiple posts or use your problem to produce multiple opportunities to write. And there are many ways to do this. First, you could explore that problem by breaking it down into a series of smaller problems. For example, if the problem is something broad like there aren't enough people buying ice cream, you could break it down into several distinct sections, such as the origins of the problem, the current state of the problem, the major factors responsible for continuing to make it a problem, and the potential solutions to each one of those problems. So each of these is substantive enough to merit its own article, but they all tie back to the common overarching theme. Second, you could look at the problem from a series of different perspectives. For example, you could look at the ice cream epidemic from the farmer's perspective, the brand's perspective, the customer's point of view, and the perspective of the greater economy. Explore each angle of the problem until your series reaches some kind of conclusion. Or if your problem is big enough, continue to find new ways to look at it. Finally, you could examine the problem, in real life applications and analyze each situation. But we'll have to depart from our ice cream example and look at something like, brands don't care enough about their communities. You could use each article as an independent case study, looking at brands who are irresponsible in their communities and brands who make an active effort to improve theirs. So whichever method you choose to explore that problem, it's time to create your first post. So step 3 would be make that first post and start a discussion. Writing that first post should be relatively easy. You can introduce the series at the beginning, or simply write the article and include something in the footer or the title that brands of the series. It's really your choice. So no matter what you choose, it's important to make your first post memorable. It's the best way to start snowballing readership effect that content series are frequently able to support. So the best way to do this is to start a discussion surrounding that first post on your article. You can do this by posting a question at the end of your first article, sharing it out on social media with a question about your reader's opinion, or simply by taking a controversial stand in the article and opening it up to comments. So whatever you do, find a way to get your readers deeply involved in your narrative and start planning for the next post. And that would be step 4. So asking for feedback. This can be integrated into your discussion, but it's vital to ask for feedback as you continue to develop and refine your content series. Ask your readers what they liked and didn't like about your first article and what they would like to see in the next installment. This may require you to make adjustments to your current plan for the series, but it will put you in a much better position to sustain and grow your readership. As the series continues to move forward, keep the discussion and requests for feedback as an integral part of your process. As your readership grows, you may find new perspectives and desires that weren't brought up in the beginning of your series. So do whatever it takes to keep your readers happy and keep them engaged. And, step 5, last one here is, build some suspense. Once you've built that reliable readership, including readers who keep up with every post, start building suspense around the series on social media. Announce the title of your next blog post at least a week in advance, for example, with an excerpt or a summary of what you plan to cover. You can even get a discussion building before you post it if you really want your readers to get fired up. Eventually you'll build your content series into a, fixation, within your niche that'll get your readers excited on a regular basis. Content series aren't for every business though. But if you are interested in building an increasingly loyal audience by exploring, a complicated problem within your vertical, it's worth pursuing. So start out with an idea with a high potential for expansion, and make sure to keep your readers as involved in the creation process as possible. So, the end result is a new, more loyal audience, and if you're lucky, a lot more social shares. So if you're looking to outsource your content creation or if you need some help in scaling that ability, come on over to SEO.co and schedule a time to have a free consultation. Learn how we can help you scale your ability to outwrite and outrank your competition.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.